All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about the big fight coming up this weekend between Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas, but also something that Errol Spence Jr. shared about the future of his career, which I would say, man, I hate to hear it, man, but he's sounding as if he knows what's going on in his career. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are in the welterweight division for this video, speaking specifically about the Errol Spence Jr. Yordenis Ugas fight, but also something that Errol Spence shared about his future and his viewpoint on this fight with Ugas and what comes next, which, honest to me, man, is like really bittersweet statement to hear from a guy like Errol Spence Jr. But at the same time, a very realistic viewpoint on what's going on. Before I do that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel if you are a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, I would invite you to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you do wager on sports, make sure to support us over there at BUSR at busr.ag/Fanon. And use the promotional code Fanon because we are going to FANNON because we will be giving away a $1,000 bonus to a specific member of the community. We will let you know after the fight who won that, so make sure you use that code and then pay attention to the live streams and the community section of the page to know if you win. All right, so let's get into this. We got a big fight coming up this weekend. Yordenis Ugas is the WBA champion, and he is challenging Errol Spence Jr., who is the WBC and the IBF champion, for a 3-belt unification fight at welterweight. One fight away from an undisputed fight with Terence Crawford. Now, Errol Spence Jr. gave an interview to Brian Kinney. He gave an interview to Kate Abdo, did a bunch of different interviews. And in one of these interviews, I do believe it was the one with Kate Abdo, Kate Abdo, on her new YouTube channel, he said something that to me, man, really hit home as a reason why, we should really support and appreciate the fighters that we have while we have them. He said, was asked about why he does not fight tune-up fights. And what he said was, before he had said things like, I feel like, if I'm fighting a tune-up fight or a regular level fighter, that's not gonna motivate me to train. I really need somebody that I believe is a top-notch fighter to challenge me and get me working hard, because otherwise I might slack off. And the reason why he's training so hard against those guys is because he doesn't want to get embarrassed in a boxing ring, right? And that makes sense to me. I think that is a motivation of a lot of fighters, should be a motivation of a lot of fighters to, get in there with the best, because that, steel sharpens steel, knowing that you have a challenge and knowing that something could go either way is a reason to really focus in and dig in. However, he added something else that I thought was like, I was like, wow, man, how time flies, man. And this is something that happens in life, just period. I'm over 50 years old. So, I've watched sports for a very long time, politics for a long time, and there's people that, you really support or fresh and just coming into the professionals or just entering into the public eye. And over time, you see them have their career, you see their career tail off, and you see them leave, right? It doesn't seem like that long ago to me that I was really introduced to Floyd Mayweather Jr. as a new fighter, right? And now he's a 43-year-old, he's 43 years old, been through his whole career, still hanging on in exhibitions, right? But nowhere near where it was, at the height of the career. And it was definitely a very fun ride. So, and Errol Spence Jr. for me fits into that category of athletes, specifically boxers, but athletes in general, that I've watched from pretty much the time that they turned pro, entered into the public eye, reached the pinnacle of their career, right? Became a champion, all of that. And then, but Errol Spence Jr., what he said was, he was like, look, I feel like I'm living on borrowed time with my career. He said, after having had two, potentially career-ending situations happen to me, specifically, he's talking about the car accident and the fact that, he missed an amount of time, but that, in boxing, but at the same time was something that was really, he could have lost his life in that, right? But he got past that. And then after that, he was preparing for the fight with Manny Pacquiao, and he gets a torn retina. That is a second career, that could be a career-ending injury, especially if he didn't catch it, right? Now, he said that it happened in sparring, and he knew something happened in sparring, but he, through habit, postponed doing his physical, all body physical till, late in training camp, right? Where a lot of people can get that physical done before you go into training camp, be okayed and go into it, right? But for Errol, because he had held off, he went into that particular circumstance to the physical, and then found out that he had a torn retina. If he had not found out that he had a torn retina, he could have been in a situation where he went into the fight and he could have been blinded in the fight, right? Not knowing that he was fighting with a torn retina, which could have ended his career. But as such, he was fortunate that it was discovered before he got in the ring. It was tough originally for him not to get the Manny Pacquiao fight, but he didn't, but he did not injure his career, and here he is still being able to fight Yordenis Ugas and then potentially Terence Crawford. But it's just interesting to see for him to look at it like that, like, I feel like I'm living on borrowed time. I could have been done 2 times, so who knows what's going to happen in the future. And I think that has him, hit him. Understanding the mortality of his boxing career, right? Man, actually, the major accident could have got him in touch with his own, mortality, period. But the torn retina and the combination of that and the potential of had those both ending his career lets him know that, man, tomorrow's not promised. So because tomorrow's not promised, he says that's another reason why he's not trying to do tune-up fights. For example, he said, look, with the torn retina situation, if I go out there and I just fight, Joe Schmo or whoever, I could still get hit in my eye and tear my retina, right? And if it's going to happen, at least it should happen in a major fight, one where I'm going after something that really means something, you know what I mean? So to me, that is, another positive sign as it relates to getting the fights that we want to see, between him and Ugas. That's obviously going to happen provided, this Saturday, provided nothing comes up between here and Saturday, knock on wood. Nothing comes up, but also for what that means for the potential of a Terence Crawford fight later in the year, that he's going to want to get that done sooner than later, because he knows there's always a chance that it may never happen if he doesn't take advantage of it, when it's there, when it's ready to do. So, all in all, man, it's just, I was really, really happy that Errol Spence, made it past that car accident. I remember when I first heard about the car accident, I was like, oh, wow, I hope that he's alive, right? After hearing about that, and he made it through that, then for me, the torn retina thing never really seemed to me like that big a deal, because he didn't get into the fight and they were going to repair it and be able to get back into it. But for him, I'm sure I believe it when he says that he feels like he's living on borrowed time and really has a necessity to get that done, which goes right along with that strap season deal and the goal that he set of getting all those major championship belts. But first steps first, the Yordenis Ugas fight coming up this Saturday. I see him winning. Tim Bradley predicts that he's going to win, says that the volume of punch and his activity level, I think that's going to be the difference between him and Yordenis Ugas, because he's going to be pressing the gas on Yordenis Ugas the entire time. Yordenis Ugas is not some real over-the-top big power puncher, and I don't think he's going to be slick enough or have the outside foot speed enough to be able to really box Errol on the outside and avoid that onslaught of punches. So I'm pretty comfortable that Errol Spence Jr. is going to win that fight. But, we got to do it. And then after that, we'll we'll see what happens with the Terence Crawford fight. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.